As Mario Kart 8 Deluxe finally wrapping up as we take on the new road into Mario Kart World, what better way is to make my own personal top 10 tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Now, fair warning, my top 10 might not be your top 10, so I'm just keeping it as that. And also, for the people that did watch my Twitch streams and they know about my 86 track ranking and not so much about the top 10, they already know what my top 10 is, but they don't know what is number 10 all the way to number 1 unless you skip through the video. But also for people that are actually wondering, why is the video so long for a top 10? Well, let me explain. So for my Twitch stream that I ranked all the other tracks, I gave a detour in description of what my takes are on that specific track and why I give it that placement. So that's why the top 10 is given that same treatment like I did on the other tracks that are on my streams. But this time is big old YouTube, so they don't even know what's going on. But without further ado, let's start off with number 10 being Royal Raceway. All right, before I talk about all the tracks and stuff, I want to just have a good little detour, okay? So like, as much as I want to talk about the track, but I want to talk about the track and while playing at the same time, because like I just like to point out, like, you know, specific details and everything else, but also like some gameplay elements and stuff too, of what I learned. So Royal Raceway, why is this in top 10 more than any other track in this game? Well, here's the thing. Royal Raceway is a classic, okay? It's from Mario Kart 64. I like Mario Kart 64, but the fact that like from this track, okay, and plus like you could do like some nisks right there too that you want to be a little fancy, but it's just there's so much detail for this, okay? If you just play the original, it just looks bare bones. But at the same time, the only thing that kind of bums me out from this version is that, you know, they gate off, you know, the coolest Easter egg that I will say is actually going through Peach's courtyard. Okay, and it's kind of like Mario 64, but the only reason why is because like they have like leftover assets for like the award ceremony for Mario Kart 64, so that's probably why like it was left open. But even still, like you got like the team posters right there. I know like some other tracks too do it like GBA Mario Circuit, but it's actually kind of nice to see. You have all the like little pit crew toads like standing on the crescent blocks. You have like the crowd right here, and plus like one of the coolest starting banners right here, right, has like the royal crown, but also the golden dash mushrooms. So it's pretty nice. And also I have little swan boats, I have little hot air balloons. It's so cool. It's so great to look at. And honestly, it's just like pleased to the eye. And I know like, oh, it's too girly, it's too pink. It's not that pink, okay? It's not too pink. You're in Peach's domain. You gotta respect that. So, but yeah, everything else from this is like, I just like all the turns that you can do in this. It's just, they don't really like do anything massive. They don't like change up a lot for this. So because of that, you know, that's why it's my number 10, okay? That's why it's my number 10. The next track, number 9, it's going to be Sunshine Airport. Sunshine Airport is kind of an interesting track, okay? And there's a reason why. It's because in this airport, you have so many references. But first off, the sunny banner, I like it, okay? You got the sun sprite, you got the little LEDs right there, you know, I like that. But also like all these too, okay? Now you gotta go like around this too. Like this is just like an Easter egg, okay? You saw these tracks right here? You saw all these? This is before like Mario Kart 8's DLC from the Wii U, right? And also of course like the booster course pass, because this game was made in 2014. So yeah, you see all these tracks right there, like Switcher Canyon, Choo Choo Beach, Bone Dry Dunes, right? It's so cool to actually look at these details and stuff, and it's kind of interconnected in some type of way, which is super cool, which is really nice. And also like you actually have like all these like promotional material too for all these, which is so cool, you know. I'm gonna say that it's all cool for all this top 10 and stuff because that's just for me, okay? I'm a sucker for those, all right? And so of course, you know, I kind of like how this kind of goes. So you go outward right here. Yeah, you're into like the facility with all the airplanes, with all the carriages and stuff. Now there is like one thing that I actually do like about this. It's actually this part right here. Now this part, okay, now you can go through either way. Like, yeah, of course, like you don't really see the item boxes, but besides, like you have like this part right here, like for all your single boxes where it's at. You have this one right here. That's where your double item box. But however, if you have a mushroom, okay, if you have a mushroom, you can just, you know, just go through this, just go through that, and it's much more faster. You know, it's risk taking, yes, if you don't have a second item in hand, but oh my gosh, like that saves quite a bit of time, I'll say. But also like this little path right here, the little shortcut ramp, I'm not really super crazy about that. But also like this part right here, if you get it like in the right timing too, like you're just kind of soaring through the sky with the airplanes and stuff. I mean, it's just really cool, and I dig that. But also like another like Easter egg from this track that a lot of people are gonna like point out and notice is like, yeah, even though this is not strictly Koopa Troopa Beach from Mario Kart 64, though I do wish that track was actually in Mario Kart 64, not in 64, but in the boosted course patch, because it would have been such a good tie-in. It would have been such a good tie-in. Have Sunshine Airport, and then years later we got Koopa Beach, and bro, that would have been such a perfect circle moment. But you know, it is what it is by now. But it's not really in Koopa Beach. But it's kind of because the Koopa rocks. Okay, it's just Koopa rocks. That's why. But this stuff right here, like seeing all the planes and stuff, is so cool. And also there's like a specific plane that has like all a bunch of like Mario designs and stuff. Yeah, like way over there, like way over there. I'm talking about it right now. There's all Mario designs and stuff, which is so cool. But also another thing too, I probably won't get this, is actually it's actually, you can actually trick off of the planes too if you can actually do it like at a good specific timing. So yeah, I didn't get it, but at the same time you can still trick off of those. And then of course, like, you know, just go right back and with the baggage and stuff in the lobby. And so yeah, this is why it's my number 9. What's better than Sunshine Airport? It's gotta be Music Park. Why I have this at number 8, and this is not, why do I don't have it as top 3? Oh, because here's the thing, there's other tracks that I kind of like a little bit better than Music Park. Okay, now let's talk about this. Let's talk about Music Park. All right, first of all, the innovation. Okay, even though yes, it's from Mario Kart 7, but the innovation of this track, it's just super good. But also just like really nice into Mario Kart 8, especially of how good it looks. Okay, like just look at this. Like, that's cool. Okay, I like that. Okay, it plays along with the tunes and stuff too. Like, oh my gosh. And plus, it's not just the white keys, it's also the black keys too. It's just so cool. And plus, like, banging into the little like music note, like the strings and stuff, it has a little like music notes and stuff. That's cool. And also you got head bopping piranha plants and stuff. I know Electrodrum has like the neon ones, but like, come on, there's like, this is the originator. Okay, this is the originator right here. And plus, like, all like the speakers and the horns and stuff is actually going right on beats per minute. Okay, it's actually on time, so which is good, because like, if you have a track that is based off of music, yeah, of course you have to be on time. Of course you have to be on time with the notes. So, and of course the xylophones, kind of like the piano, right? And then of course that the little drum kit right here. And of course, like this part right here, it's like, I do like the little lights and stuff. And of course the little music notes, and this is like where like the highlight is. So of course, for like technical stuff, okay, so let me talk about this. So I know, like, you know, you go to the glider section right here, like from like lap 2 or lap 3 situations if a shock happens. But if it doesn't really happen on lap 1 or anything at all, you have to go to this path. Don't do it on a glider, okay? Because this is actually much more faster. Because of the music notes, actually gives you a little trick. It gives you a little trick and stuff like that. So, like, of course, you do something like that, which is super nice. And of course, the music notes get faster and faster for each lap it goes by. And of course, like lap 3, it gets all super crazy and stuff. Though I do like the little the particle effects when it comes to you know, the notes like slamming down and stuff. So like the whole room kind of, well, the floor gets all lit up and stuff, which is nice. And of course, like this part right here, which is actually really, really cool, is this this trump kit right here. Right? It do a little fancy shortcut. But the only reason why, like this is not really like the top of the crop. There's like not a lot of saucy moments. Even though the innovation, this is like one of like the top, like honestly, one of like the best tracks that has like a lot of innovation with it and creativity. But not a whole lot of sauce. Not a whole lot of like sauce and like when it comes to this. So that's why like I put it at number 8. The next track do have the sauce. That has the sauce with it. More than Music Park. It's gotta be Squeaky Clean Sprint. Squeaky Clean Sprint. Why do I like this track? I like the technicality of it, okay? Because like right here, but I didn't trick off of that. I didn't trick off of that. You maintain a mini turbo for that, and that's actually much more faster. And plus, you go on the sponges, you trip off of this. You don't trick off. No, keep it. Okay, and also the other thing is this. You can do some cool stuff like that. Okay, that's cool. I like this. Okay, this makes that. See, when I'm talking about saucy stuff, this is what I'm talking about. Now, the only little downside is actually this part right here, like this little half pipe. No one goes to that. Okay, no one goes to that. All right, and of course, like, you know, you go for the glider right here. Of course, the toilet bowl like shots up whenever it comes to, like lap 2 or like a minute and a half. Okay, that's where, you know, the toilet bowl water like all goes up and stuff. So you have like 2 rays, but there's like so many paths to go by. Like you have this top path right here, you have this other one right here. Like I don't really see anybody to actually go through this path right here, quite on the receipt paper, but I see a lot of people just kind of go from here and then bounce off the leaves and stuff too. But the other thing too, it's just the decals. Okay, this obviously is a pimp. It's a pimped out bathroom. Okay, you have all these wall decals right here from like the 1-1 levels, right, from the past Mario games, or the first Mario game. Okay, and you have the shower curtain right there with all the little stars, and of course like the little notebooks with the sticky notes. Like there's just so much like detail when it comes to this. And I like little Mario rubber ducky right there with the with the Goomba right there. But I don't know why there's like toothbrushes in the bathtub. Okay, I'm a little questioning. Okay, and also have that little lost engagement ring right here. Most people like thought it's like a Toastarian ring from Odyssey. So of course, like I like the little decals like from like the soaps and stuff too. And of course, like you can actually land on top of those too. Funny enough, it's like you got a little fat softener, like the blooper cleaner, like the strong clean. You have the little luggage right here. I mean, like, bro, like this track is bizarre. This track is kind of bizarre in design, and I have a little clothespins right here for the it's just a fun track. It's just a fun little track to actually go by. And of course, like you have Mario bandages right there too. Like, come on, like Nintendo has all these product placements right there. Like they could easily sell money for it. But like, bro, and the clock is still the same. Okay, I don't know if they will get like super fancy like with that too. But like, shoot, there's just so many cool decals of this. It's actually kind of insane. And so that's why I put this at number 7. That's why I put this at number 7. It has all the sauce and everything else, but there is a track that is way more saucier than that, and you'll know why. And with that next track being Mushroom Gorge. How is this track beat Squeaky Clean Sprint, Music Park, Sunshine, and Royal Raceway? How? Okay, I know some people out here is like already disappointed already, but here's the thing. Look, the track is fun. This track is fun as heck. Okay, look, here's the thing. I know this part right here, that part's not important. Okay, that part's not important, but it's cool to do that. But at the same time, don't go for that because you're missing out item boxes. Okay, if you do that. Anyways, this right here is the super bounce track. Now I know like this is actually like a competitive track, okay, in 8 Deluxe. It's very simple to talk about because there's not really like a crazy amount of details when it comes to this, but however, the key main factor that I like this track, not only because it's saucy, not only because you can practice on super bouncing, which there's like 4 different ways of super bouncing, but the cave section. You look at this right here. You play Mario Kart Wii and you play Mario Kart 7, you already know. So like, all right, like when it came to like Mario Kart Wii, you go through this way, right? The left path, but also you have the left. You have the right path right here, and you have the left path right here. Okay, but they never had the glider. But in Mario Kart 7, they do, but they took out the left path like completely, like they do in Wii. But they combine the elements together, and it's something I never expect Nintendo would actually do. Even Tour is actually like they kept everything, and I like that. I like that they kept everything, and it's really cool. And plus, if I can pull this off, you can do the gap jump. I know that's not the cleanest of landing, but I still got it. So yeah, I do like this track a lot because like, look, this is one of my comfort tracks to time trial, believe it or not. Because it's just so fun. It's just so fun to actually just kind of practice on, like doing all the stuff, doing the super bounces, and it just leaves good satisfaction when you just kind of pull everything off, and it's just so nice. Like once you learn how to do it. Now for most people, it wouldn't be top 10 once they got, you know, if they don't really know the strat. Or some people that actually know the strat, they wouldn't even put this one top 10. But for me, because I like the satisfaction, that's why it's up there. That's why I have it right up there. But the satisfaction is gonna keep going with this top 5. In this top 5, it's gonna start off with Toad Harbor. I know it's a surprise. It's a surprise, but like, yeah. So Toad Harbor is my number 5. The only reason why is because like this track, not really much of like saucy moments or anything like that, like I mentioned before. But why do I like this? I like the comfortability with this track, and it's just a vibe, okay? And of course, like you go to this part right here, which is super nice, right? And of course, like there's there's options, right? You can go on this wall. Now, I wouldn't say it's not useful, but it can be useful in some scenarios, but it's not like really like guaranteed at most. But like the music is vibey and everything else. I didn't even mention about the music for all the other tracks. All the music is good, okay? I'll say that right there. Music is not the criteria. I am mostly basing off on how I actually do like about this track. And so within this track, what I like is like, it's actually, you can actually do something like that and get a super mini turbo and just kind of do a NISC from there. NISC, okay, for people that don't even know, I'm sorry I didn't mention this before, is a no item shortcut. So if you don't have any items, but you know you can actually pull off with that, with no items, you know your soft trips and your mini turbos with well, yeah, you can just pull that off. But also the other thing to do note of pulling off it on time is actually this right here. This I never knew, but you can just do this. It's so cool. You can trick off the trains, and because you can trick off the little trains. And I know that for like a bit of years, but I never knew that on the Wii U. Okay, when I was playing this on the Wii U, I never knew this. But because of that, I'm like, oh, it just adds a little bit more flavor. Okay, more so than Sunshine Airport. Okay, I will say that right away. And plus, you know, I do like the you know, the Statue of Liberty of Peach right there, which is really nice, holding the fire flower and the star. But yeah, this track is just a vibe. It's not really like the most super tech heavy, but I just do like how it plays, because it just plays so well. But the next track is a little crazier than Toes Harbor. It's Dragon Trip Ray. Look, I can explain. I can explain. All right, look at this starting banner. Starting banner's cool. Look at the track design. Very freaking wild for anti-gravity, and we ain't gonna get this in Mario Kart World. We are not getting this in Mario Kart World. But however, when this track dropped for DLC for Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, my mind was blown, and I wanted like an Asian type track for like the longest time when I when I was a kid. And so because of that, like, bro, like, this is like insane. this is insane, because I like the Chinese artifacts and stuff, which is really awesome. I do like like decals of like the Lakitus being like kung fu masters and stuff. Like, bro, this is so cool. Like, who never thought, like, how does Nintendo not like have like Lakitu as like a boss, but does like kung fu moves instead of just like he's just throwing spinies? Oh, that's all he does. Like, look, he has like the staffs, he does the kicks and everything. Like, bro, like, this guy could literally just be in Smash Bros, or I know. Okay, so anyways, back around, I'm trying to say, this track right here got like one of the most satisfying nisks ever. Okay, if you pull it off like this, bro, it's so good. It's so good. It's so peak. And there's a reason why, like, before I ever know about that trick, like, bro, I have people like years ago that does this and actually be super far away. They're like, oh my gosh, like, how are these people like so damn far? It's because they did that, and that's why, like, that's their favorite track. It's because they can actually do stuff like that, but other people couldn't. But your secrets are revealed. You already know what's up. But anyways, yeah, you could do that with a mushroom. Yeah, you could do that. You know, you could do that with the mushroom. You know, like, yeah, you could do that with that shortcut and stuff. For sure. But however, you know, and also I forgot to mention too, like the dragon that we're racing on is actually like the global gut of Mario Galaxy 2, which is so awesome. Okay, so which is so cool. And the music's nice too. Like, it's just everything with this track is just so nice to look at. And plus, you know, it's like one of my favorites of all time, until like I play more and more of it, where I'm like, okay, I have a better understanding. My memory just like unlocks and stuff. And so, but at the same time, you know, this track right here is just like, it's one of the GOATs for me. But the other three, the top three, there is much more to that. And for the next track that I'm going to talk about is Yoshi's Island. This track is awesome. Okay, I will say that right away. This track is so peak. Best booster course pass track ever. It's the best one. Okay, I know Squeaky Clean Sprint and Yoshi's Island can like bounce back and forth with each other, and I know Ninja Hideaway too, but this one is like the icing of the cake. This is like where it peaks. First of all, the Booster Course Pass graphics actually translates with this track theme really, really well. Okay, and I actually adore that too. And plus, like, I don't really have to try while I'm talking about this. Like, bro, like, seriously, you have the Stilt guys, you have the little Flower Shy guys right here. Like, they're all like references from the games as well. You have the bouncing Chain Chomps, okay? And like, they're not like you know, they're not like harming the track or anything. They're just bouncing and just having a good time. And plus, Poochie, you don't know he's sleeping right now. Okay, that's because Nintendo, you need to wake your butts up and make him playable in Mario Kart World. Okay, so you probably do that for DLC, maybe, I don't even know. But please put the puppy in Mario Kart World. But anyways, back where I'm about to say. But yeah, this track is so cool. So yeah, of course, like you go to like the left turn. Okay, I don't really talk about like turns that much besides like Royal Raceway. But yeah, you actually start off like with some like wavy turns and stuff. And of course, you got the piranha plant right here. You don't go to the white side. You got a little side stepper action right here. And plus, like all these sections right here is actually like kind of based off like the level progressions as you play on the original game. And of course, like the storks, okay, the little storks, even though they have the little two side-eye type ray too, because they're kind of looking at that one direction anyways. So yeah, and plus like the Yoshi coins right here, right? I know that you can see that on like the UI, but like, oh, come on, bro, come on. It's so cool. It's so nice. Okay. And of course, like you go on top of the clouds, which is super nice. But also the other thing that I want to kind of point out, that actually this little monster right here. Now I don't even know the name or anything, but I know that he's in the cover art. Specifically, he was in the cover art for like yeah, it is Yoshi's Island. It is Mario World 2. So, of course, the unique mechanic enough is the question cloud to open up the bridge, which again, you don't open that up, oh, you're a goner. Like you're straight up a goner. And of course, like little like this part right here, that's the goal. That's the goal from the games. So yeah, of course, you know. And I gotta get to the final lap. I gotta get to the final lap.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
This. I know other tracks does this too, but the fact that like the booster course pass, like, yeah, this is Yoshi's Island. We gotta make it spark. And not only that, this Wave 4 introduced Birdo. They introduced characters. And so because of that, I gotta give her props of where it's due. This track is the GOAT of the booster course pass. It's not my number one. It's not my number one. But, and also Black Yoshi. Bring him back to Mario Kart World, okay? I'm glad Purple is in, but we need Black Yoshi. What tops Yoshi's Island? Ribbon Road. Yep, Ribbon Road is my number 2. All right, and you probably know what number 1 is. It's a surprise for everybody. But let's talk about Ribbon Road, okay? Ribbon Road, I like the remake of what they did with this track. It's freaking incredible. You play this in Mario Kart 64, you know, not 64, Super Circuit. And like, of course, like the backgrounds is just like a bunch of presents and stuff. Now, like, you're in a child's playset, and I chose Baby Mario because, like, look, Baby Mario is the promo of this. I felt like this is his room, and so I'm like, all right, yeah, let's go with Baby Mario this one. It makes sense. But yeah, like, there's like so much detail, bro. There's so much detail. Like, you have the yarn Yoshis, right? From Woolly World. And like, you have all these like decal, like, you know, the presents right there too. I don't have a free roam camera or anything, but it's just nice to actually kind of zoom in all the other stuff. Like, bro, like, look at this. Like, look at this, bro. Like, look at this. You actually have like the vehicles right there on the dresser. Like, this person is already decked out with Mario Kart stuff. Okay, I wish I was like him. I wish I was like Baby Mario right here. And of course, you got the poster. Okay, you have the poster from Wii U. It would have been so much funnier if, you know, they port Mario Kart 8. You know, like, you know. Yeah, they ported Mario Kart 8 on the Switch, and they switched out the covers. I think that would be way more funnier to do it that way. Just like, you know, just keep it relevant. Just keep it relevant. But we gotta know the history. We gotta know where it came out first. Okay, so of course you got all these other posters from, like, you know, past Mario Kart tracks right here. Like, yeah, as you saw, like, there was a water park thing right there. And also, you got the Mecha Koopas right there. Mecha Koopas was never there before. But at the same time, we're in the Bowser section, okay? Then you have the little, like, the toy, like, Bowser shells right there with the little, like, with the flags right there. I like how they're, like, there's all, like, just toy flags and stuff. They don't move. which is so cool, which is so nice. And of course, this part right here is the wavy part. And I know this part right here, yeah, like this part right here, like you have the water park poster right here. And also you have the track, like, you know, you got the track and drift brake poster with the Kung Lakitu right here. Like, bro, it's so cool. And plus, this part right here, like the wavy sections, where it actually adds like a little bit of difficulty, because like you have to go to this part right here for this one ramp. That's one. But also this part right there that actually messes up a lot of people with their own timing. And I know for a fact too. And first, like, you have this old big old standard card right there. And oh my gosh, bro, this track is so freaking cool. And the top of all that off too, they didn't really have to do this. They have like they have the Teddy Buggy with their stats on the box. They don't really have to do that. They don't really have to go extra from that. What is this, a remote control type thing? This ain't no remote control type car, you know. I mean, with smart steering and stuff, maybe, you know, but at the same time, it's just so cool. It's so cool to look at. And of course, like, you have that, like, the Koopa Clown as the jack-o'-lanterns right there, which is so cool to look at. Everything about this is so cool. Everything about this is so cool and so referential. It's nuts. And I like the little toad, little wobbly things. I don't even know what those called. But man, and also deck out with like all the bell cups stuff, because it is in the bell cup. Yeah, like this track right here is so cool. It's so goated and it's fun. But however, there is one track, and you guys already know number one, and let's talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, my number one Mario Kart 8 Deluxe track of all time is Mount Wario. I know a lot of people are asking, how is this number one? How? Okay, out of all the tracks you gushing about, Dragon Driftway, Ribbon Road, Squeaky Clean, Yoshi's, or even Sean Circuit, which is DS Mario Circuit for people that don't know, or Plant Cove, how is this track number one? There's a lot of things. First of all, foremost, have you ever played a game called SXX Tricky? Specifically Tour? I played that game growing up, and I went to the final mission of that, and this reminds me of this too. Now, I'm not coping of like, oh, like this is actually my favorite moments of the game, but it's just like, it's just so cool of how you start and how you finish with this track, because this track is just an ever-going adventure. I mean, you start off on the helicopter, you drop off of that, like, oh my gosh, like, it's a cool way to start off of the track too. Like, dude, it's still floating. I mean, like, I don't know how it's still floating but not landing, but like, it's just so cool. It's so cool to actually just kind of like chop off of the helicopter and like, yeah, you start your race right there. And of course, the overview, it's just so nice to look at. It's just an ongoing illusion when it comes to this. Like, bro, it's just so peak. Okay, now going down this part right here, yeah, you have your two splitter rates right here. One is a faster rate than the other, but at the same time, you gotta get your coins, you gotta get your monies, okay? And plus, you gotta do that for Mario Kart World as well, okay? And I know I mess up, but it doesn't matter. But anyways, let's go. Let's keep moving forward. And then this part right here, this little cut right here, which is nice. And plus, and you see that? Music transitions. I know I don't really talk about music that much, but this, and along the side with Big Blue, they don't have like the final lap when it, like the song gets all faster, right? It has a faster tempo. This has 3 different sections of music for each scenario as you go. But like the first part, yeah, you go to like the mountaintops and stuff. This right here, you go in the cave, and then later on you go to the dam. Like, bro. And plus, I'm gonna go to like the gliding section too, because I know like you can do like an ultra mini turbo if you don't do it in this way. Right. this part right here is just so cool. You know, all the troopers right there. And of course, like, yeah, you got this little Wario dam. The dam! Like, that's crazy. They're crazy that they put a word that Nintendo wouldn't allow. But at the same time, it's just a beaver. But the dam is fine. As long as it doesn't say damn with the N at the end, then it's a prop. But anyways, we go to this part right here. I'll say this right now. Possibly one of the more single difficult parts of this track is the gosh dang trees. These trees, if you don't pay attention to where everything is going and stuff, yeah, you'll bump into one of those. It'll be devastational. Okay? As long as you kind of know your way of going around it, it's satisfaction. Okay? But also, what else is satisfaction is this part right here, the last section right here. It's the Olympics. It's a ski resort. Okay, you got a bunch of like shy guys snowboarding and stuff. Like, you have all these people like cheering you on. Like, dude, this is literally the Olympics. This is exactly what this goes. All right. And plus, like, you have all these bumps right here too. Now, if you have like a Pro Controller with motion, you just shake it. Like, bro, you just go off. You just go off. And of course, you know, you go down this way right here, and then there's like another part. You go this right here, that has like an element of like N64 Rainbow Road. And of course, you go through the rings right here, and you actually give a crap on doing your gliding and stuff too to actually get more boosts. Like, dude, like, bro. And then of course, at the end, the crowd is popping up. The crowd is popping up. You started off at the top, just top of the mountains and stuff, and then when you come down, everybody's cheering your name, no matter what placement, because you pull out the efforts into going something down the road that you never expect. And because of that, you see the big screens right there. Of course, yeah, they're all like focusing on like the top player and stuff. But at the same time, they're focusing on you. They're focusing on the player that successfully came down on this ride. And that's why Mount Wario is my #1 track in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And thus, it is my top 10 tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Let me know what you think, and also let me know what your top 10 tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe from your guys in. And until then, I'll see y'all in the future. And if you want to swing by for the streams, the Twitch is in the description. Alrighty? And I'll be doing a lot of Mario Kart World stuff, so be ready for that. And until then, I'll see y'all in the future. Bicycles, peace out, and you guys have a good one. Alrighty, bye.